We are a group of Alvian Agustian, Bryan, Clarence, Wirawan, and me, Nidhal, Sadewa, Barceli. We are going to talk about Google and Alphabet's 10 things. So, I believe every one of you are aware of Google. It exists literally everywhere, in your mobile phones, laptop, and even houses. So the question is, do you know what are Google's 10 things and what is Alphabet? So let me introduce it in short. So the 10 things are, in short, is user experience is the #1 priority of Google. And Google is focusing on search engine, which is fast, democracy, not using the data for evil, and exists everywhere, more information compared to the competitors, global with multiple languages, creative working environment, and setting impossible goals. So, what is Alphabet exactly? Google exists since 1997, thanks to Larry Page and Bryan. They became a public ownership by 2004 and is incorporated as Alphabet in 2015. Of course, with new services along the way. And Alphabet is the new name of Google, but it doesn't mean that Google's name disappeared. The name Google is brought down as part of Alphabet, with multiple services under it. For example, in this structure that illustrates the relationship between Alphabet and Google. So, there are a couple of ideas that exist in the article, which is simply what's going on, and the relationship between the 10 things that was mentioned before with Google before becoming Alphabet and after incorporated as Alphabet. So the focus are, first, they focus on customer satisfaction, whether it is anything, customers are kept at heart, especially their feedbacks. Revenue are on the second thought and focusing on developing the services that is preferred by the customers. So, the main source of the revenue of Google isn't coming from selling its product, but providing online advertising for its customers. And in fact, in 2011, the 96% of the revenue came from online advertising. Moreover, the no evil thing that was mentioned before means that the work is completely not arrogant. They give everything for the customers instead of for their own good. So, in the working environment itself, the employees were trusted with confidential information that might be confidential to other businesses. For example, like the company goals, the plans, the reports, everything is transparent to the workers. And of course, the expectations were high. Only the best students or people that is rich on their CVs are chosen, and their return on investment are incessantly monitored. So, before incorporated as Alphabet, Google is really focusing on only employing the best of the best students or people out there. And working in Google, their inputs are the main priority of Google, especially the numbers. Working in the same area doesn't mean that you're going to have the same income. Being more impactful will give you 100 times more stock award compared to the others. So it is pretty clear that Google are investing heavily on the employees, but also expecting a high return from them. And the working experience in Google before incorporated as Alphabet is also different. Everything is done for innovation and impossible goals, small teams and short breaks, and even a promise for the employees to devote 20% of their time for the project is done for creativity. So Google wanted to make sure that there is a moment of serendipity. So this means like there will be the moment where ideas are popped out and emerge into big hits. In 2009, Google want to pursue this idea even further by creating Project Oxygen, because engineers are dominating the labor in Google, and they believe that engineers doesn't want a boss to monitor them around, to make them reporting. And so the Project Oxygen is making sure the engineers are working freely. To sum up, do your own work, no interruption from managers, and show the result. And moreover, to gain promotion in Google, it's different compared to others. It's all based on the peers' review of the employees. If the employee doesn't perform real well, but the peer saying that he's doing really good, he might get the promotion. So, however, what's so different when they have incorporated as Alphabet? So we know they changed the name into Alphabet because Google is growing really big. So as Google grows really big, they want to separate it into smaller segments under Alphabet. That is why they changed the name. So as they grow bigger, the focus are also changing. For example, they used to focus on their search engine for customers. Now they focus on for products and also new services for the customers. And in fact, their main relying on revenue also changing, because in 2015 their revenue from ads are reducing to 90%. So they also have invested more in new industries as they develop Google Venture to invest on other businesses, for example, like Uber and Nest. I believe we all know about those two already. So the investment on employees are also depleting because they are expanding so heavily. Their expense is heavily for employees before, and they are trying to reduce it as they became Alphabet. So from this, we all know that Google is considered as oligopoly, meaning in the market, they are one of the huge, in fact that they are the biggest the biggest factor, the biggest influencer in online advertising, with the likes of Microsoft and Yahoo are among them.
So in this case, does the 10 values still relevant with the current new Google? But the answer is sadly no, because what Google have made in the beginning, those 10 values that have been explained before, was actually focusing on Google as a search engine company, giving the best service in search technologies as the search engine optimization. But right now Google have innovated various kinds of service. Even they have creating new subunit for the new businesses, so they are not relevant enough with the values they have made back in the days, because currently they are not just a search engine company. And this is also why Google have changed or create into the new Alphabet subsidiaries starting in 2015. This is clear that the Alphabet doesn't connect to the base value, but since Google have become the subunit of the Alphabet, they can go back like before by just focusing on their search engine optimization. And since they are back like before, now they can maintain and still keeping their values. So it's actually relevant. The values is relevant to Google right now. And right now Alphabet could be giving chance for Google so they can keep develop their service in search engine without losing or miss another business opportunities, as it's already been managed well for other new innovations in the future by the Alphabet itself.
Okay, now we are going to talk about company comparison, and this time I'll compare Google with Amazon, Tesla, and Apple. Not because they are also restructuring their organizations, but because they're also pushing their employees beyond their limits for products and customer sake. Giving satisfaction to your customer is a must, but concerning about the employees' welfare are also important. Okay, first we got Amazon, the biggest online retailer company, which has a reputation among customers for its speeds and efficiency, but some employees at its fulfillment centers are speaking out, alleging the company prioritizing speed over worker safety and welfare. One witness came from journalist James Bloodworth, working undercover as a picker in one of Amazon warehouse in UK, and found some breathtaking facts there. This scene take place in 2016, not because of the employees' hard work and neither because of the warehouse environment, but he felt something different there. He felt the atmosphere there were nearly closed with a low security prison. And in Amazon, there is a system called disciplinary. The rules is that if you receive 6 disciplinaries, you will gonna lose your job. If you took a day off because of 6, for instance, you will get a disciplinary, even if you get a letter from a doctor stated if you're sick. And employees are being discouraged even to use bathroom breaks. Why? Because of the imposed productivity targets. Various resources stated that pickers were required to pick at least 300 items in an hour, which means that 1 item every 12 seconds. And if they fail to fulfill this target, they'll get disciplinary. This makes workers afraid to go to bathroom, as it may take 2 until 5 minutes waste. And a survey found that 74% of workers there, especially that works as pickers, were afraid to use the bathroom. And in terms to reach the target, workers might need to run in order to take the items from various shelves spread over the huge warehouse. And however, if you run inside the warehouse, you will get a disciplinary as well. But you will also get a disciplinary if you don't reach your target. And no doubt, if Amazon has huge turnovers of staffs. And people are easily getting fired for any reasons, or maybe they leave because they couldn't bear with the rules. And you might ask why Amazon implement these systems. First, because they want everything to run fast in the process, and second, actually there is no written rules about it, but you can see it quite clearly if they try to get rid of the workers quickly so that they can bring new people that don't have the employment rights of the full-time workers. And second, we got Tesla, an American electric vehicle and clean energy company that has become the world's best plug-in and battery electric passenger car seller and manufacturer. We found issues about Tesla reported by CNBC and KPIX5. They elaborated the same problem, which stated that Tesla was putting its products over its people. A non-organization called WorkSafe said that the injuries occurred at the Tesla's Fremont factory in California were 31% higher than the industry average in 2015, and various factors have resulted in over 100 calls of ambulance. It was known that their employees worked to exhaustion, non-stop, and burnout. And in order to reach the company's production goals, they need to implement it. And the company itself they admit if some employees were having hard jobs and did their work overtime for the company's sake. However, today they've changed a lot. Tesla said if its factory safety records have significantly improved. They are no more tolerating any dangerous practices and having lowest injury rate in the industry by far. But still, the employees has lost confidence towards the management, because when they approach the management to complain about something related to injuries, they will be considered as complainers by the management. And lastly, we got Apple. Everybody knows Apple. I don't even need to mention what is Apple, right? And you are probably watching this video through an Apple product. So let's just move into the problem, and this is an exclusive news from India. An incident that happened on 12 December 2020 when a group of manufacturing laborers broke security cameras and trashed the factory's equipment. They even set fire and destroyed the company's vehicles in the factory. But what is the problem? What is the reason? They haven't been paid for 2 until 3 months. They were also protesting about their working conditions. They alleged that they were being made to work for 12 hours straight in a day. However, according to Factories Act, the daily shift must be kept at 8 hours. They are also just being paid for only 6,000 rupees or $81 per month, which is just 200 rupees or around $3 each day. And however, they were being promised to be paid for 21,000 rupees for each month. That was 3.5 times less than the amount that being promised. The factory is actually owned by a Taiwanese tech giant with Western Corporation, but it has been hired by Apple to produce and assemble iPhone parts. And due to this incident, Apple came out with a statement saying that they have sent their agents and executives to investigate what really happened inside the company, and the investigations are still going on, and we can only wait for the progression to be announced.
So to sum up, we can see that Google have changed and updated their company structures in total since 2015, and all of the values that Google created back in the days are also back, as they have become the new subsidiaries of the new alphabet. If we take a look in the value by details, we could see that there are also some values that isn't relevant and didn't fit with the current Google right now. Just like the don't be evil value. And we also know that Google focus on customer satisfaction. We also have discussed that before. And they always put their first priority on consumers, so they can have feedback, and they develop with new innovation service products to improve their business too. And those services are preferred by the consumers itself, so they look up doing market research before they develop into this new innovation. And this way, sometimes companies might also ignore and neglect their employees for customers, as they put the consumers on their priority. And we come up on 3 companies examples: Amazon, Tesla, and Apple. Those 3 companies shows that they have their ambitions to reach their goals, and they both of 3 of them want their their productions to reach their target, but they ignore the employees, and they tend to forget, companies tend to forget that employees also have roles in their businesses, and employees is very crucial. So it's not good for their companies in the end. And so companies must balance their crucial aspect in their operation to achieve the goals together as a team and also as a family. We also learned that successful international company like Google, as the world giant tech, will always keep on develop and shifting to other new businesses opportunities in the future. Just like Google, they didn't know and notice their changes, and so the companies in this situation should always check and update their values and look up for their management in their important aspect for the company, just like their employees. They also need to always prioritize the customers, and all of them are for the best to achieve their goals, their company goals. And the most important thing is always know the roles and aspect for their operation, so they can always compete in the market, just like Google on the tech market. And that's it. Thank you for listening the presentation, and have a great day. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.